Time for the look at an abbreviated scoreboard for Monday night, February 10th in the Simulated League. We have 9 games to tell you about. After tonight, everybody has 3 games to play. We're going to start in the National League on that side of the geographic alignment. And let's see, the Braves are the only team playing that had anything to play for as they look to extend their lead into the Sun Belt Division, also known as the Eastern Division, to 2 games over the Astros, who are idle. And they did that. They beat the Rays 12-3. So Braves 12, Rays 3. Art Neff 12-13 over Matt Garza 5-16. Matthews hit a pair, numbers 32 and 33. Holmes hit number 29. Aaron a pair, numbers 30 and 31. And Murphy, number 29, all for Atlanta. Longoria, number 21, for Tampa Bay. So there are 2 other games on that side of the card to tell you about that have no playoff implications. Where we stand going to the final day and the final 3 games for everybody then is this. The Braves have a 2-game lead in the Eastern Division over Houston. The Braves have won 93 games. They are 93 and 66. The Astros are 91 and 68. The Central Division, that's the Northeast Corridor, everybody was idle. So Boston remains on top, 93-66. Baltimore is a game back. The Yankees 2 back. And the Giants will be 2 games off the wild card lead with 3 to go. So the Giants are in real trouble there. The wild card race is Baltimore by 1 over both Houston and the Yankees, and the Giants are 2 out. The Braves and Red Sox, the division leaders, are 1 game ahead of the pace by the current wild card leader. Now, in the actually 2 other games on this side of the card. The Angels and the Rangers played their final game of their series, and the Rangers win at 7-3. Craig McMurtry the win, 2-5. Jared Weaver the loss, 10-18, and a save to Jeff Zimmerman, number 11, and Gary Pettis making the most of his playing time off the bench right here at the end. Another home run. That's 4 now for Pettis, 3 in 2 games. And the other game to tell you about involves the Dodgers and the Marlins, who opened a 4-game series. And the Dodgers win the game 9-4. Hershiser the win, 19-8. This has implications because this is going to help the Dodgers clinch home field all the way now. The Dodgers are Hershiser's 19-8, and the loss to Dontrelle Willis 9-11. So that's where that stands. Home runs in this one: Jackie Robinson, number 12, Campanella, number 35, and Garvey, number 21 for the Dodgers. The Marlins, again, are held out of the home run column. Now to the American League side of the geographic alignment, and all but 2 teams in action here. The 2 teams that were idle were the Indians and Diamondbacks. So Cleveland, sitting there in the Eastern Division, everybody trying to gain ground on them. Let's first start out in the West. The Dodgers make that the Twins, Cubs, and White Sox in that big race. And let's first look at the Twins and the Cubs, because they played each other. And the Cubs beat the Twins 10-9 in Chicago. So Chicago pulls within 1 of Minnesota. So they keep their hope alive. And the question will come down to, what do the White Sox do in their game with the Brewers? These teams are opening 4-game series. These are the final matchups here. The Twins and Cubs, a 4-gamer, and the Sox and Brewers a 4-gamer. 10-9 Chicago. Joe Nathan charged with just his 4th blown save. Takes the loss for Minnesota. Lee Smith was charged with his 4th blown save for Chicago before Rick Sutcliffe won it. Sutcliffe 6-1 over Nathan 6-6. Home runs for the Cubs. Hack Wilson number 43 and Ernie Banks number 29. And those are the only home runs in the game. Now the Cubs and Twins are both hoping that the Milwaukee Brewers could help them, and they do. 6-4 over the White Sox. So this division will be tighter going to the final 3 games. The White Sox lead over Minnesota remains 1, and the lead over the Cubs is trimmed back down to 2. Marty Patton the win, 6-20 over Doc White, 16-7. That's an upset. And Doug Jones the save, number 27 for the Brewers. Each side hit 1 home run. Prince Fielder, number 28 for Milwaukee. Eddie Collins, number 7 for the White Sox. Now for those critical games in the Eastern Division. And again, the Indians are idle, so they have 3 games to play, and everybody else will now, once these results are revealed. Start with Toronto and Pittsburgh playing each other. Pittsburgh wins at 5-3. Huge win for Pittsburgh. Huge loss for Toronto. They're obviously embroiled in a big wild card race. They're trying to run down Cincinnati, who's the wild card leader at the moment. 5-3 Pittsburgh wins. Tony Watson the win, 3-2 over Dave Stieb, 11-14. Zane Smith save 2 for Pittsburgh. Home runs for the Pirates. Kiner hit number 43. For the Blue Jays, Olerud number 20 and Alomar number 15. And the Royals do the Blue Jays and Pirates a huge favor. They beat the Reds 7-4. And that should clinch a tie for the division for Cleveland. 7-4 Kansas City over Cincinnati. Kevin Appier the win, 14-15. Danny Jackson the loss, 17-9. That's an upset. No save in the game. Home runs. Brett number 22 for Kansas City. Perez number 36 for Cincinnati. Now there were some other games that had no playoff significance on this side, so we'll tell you about those real quick. There were 2 of them. The Tigers shut out the Mariners and break their losing skid, 3-0 in favor of Detroit. Morris 15-10 over Langston, 10-15, and Willie Hernandez saved 17. Greenberg homered for Detroit, number 46. And the Cardinals and Rockies played a Coors Field kind of game, only the Cardinals were the home team at Busch. The final was 21-17 Colorado. The Rockies in the last few days have been involved in a pair of these. They had that 1917 home win over Detroit just the other day. And what's remarkable is the Rockies didn't even score until the 3rd inning. They scored 6 in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th, 5 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th, and 5 in the 9th. St. Louis was 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd, 3 in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th, 1 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, 4 in the 8th, and 3 in the 9th. Wow, so this game was 16-14 Colorado going to the 9th, and they needed those insurance runs. So the winning pitcher for the Rockies is Joe Kennedy. He's now 5-0. And the Cardinal loss to Chris Carpenter, 13-11. John Thompson is credited with the save, number 2. In the home run department, For Colorado, Galarraga a pair, numbers 35 and 36. Castillo, number 17. For the Cardinals, McGuire hit 3, numbers 50, 51, and 52. And Steve Braun hit number 4. Okay, and I got a correction I need to make. I misspoke when I did the standings on the Yankees. I was trying to do this from memory, and I misspoke on the Yankees. The Yankees are not tied with Houston at 91-68. They are tied with Baltimore at 92 and 67. So let's just go over this whole process. We'll start National League. The Braves lead the Astros by 2 in the Eastern Division. That's the Sun Belt Division. Atlanta's 93-66. Houston's 91-68. Any combination of one more Atlanta win plus one more Houston loss, or 2 Atlanta wins or 2 Houston losses, and Houston is eliminated from the division race. Now, Houston's situation isn't quite as dire yet with the wild card, which we'll talk about in just a second. That Northeast corridor is going to be a heck of a finish. In the Central Division, the Red Sox are 93 and 66. The Yankees and the Orioles are both 92 and 67, one game back. Wild card race. Orioles and Yankees are tied 92-67. Astros one back at 91-68. The Giants are 2 back at 90 and 69. So the tragic number for the Giants to be eliminated is 2. And the Giants' problem is that they need the Yankees and the Orioles to lose, and they still have the Astros between them. So the Giants are in a very tough spot. The Astros need help, but the Giants' task is doubly tough. Now on the American League side, we'll start first with the West because the East will be even more fun. The White Sox are 84 and 75. The Twins one back 83-76. The Cubs 2 back at 82 and 77. Now again, if the Cubs lose one more game and the White Sox win one more game, the Cubs are eliminated. So the Cubs are up against it. The Twins still have a little bit of breathing room, but they need help. And what's going to help the White Sox is that the Twins and the Cubs are playing each other. So if the White Sox win all their games against Milwaukee, they win the division because the teams behind them will be beating up on each other. If the White Sox win 2 games, the Twins win, and the Twins win 2, the White Sox win the division. If the White Sox win 2 and the Cubs win 2, the White Sox win the division. If the White Sox win 2 and the Twins sweep, they're tied. So, just to give you a sense of what's going on there. Eastern Division and the wild card. This is where it has been fun. Cleveland is 90 and 69. They have clinched a tie for the division. Cincinnati is 3 back at 87 and 72. Pittsburgh and Toronto are eliminated from the division race. They are both 86 and 73. They trail by 4. Wild card race. Cincinnati by 1 over both Toronto and Pittsburgh. Could it get any more fun than this? Let's talk about real quick the other 2 divisions that have, or the divisions that have been wrapped up. The on the American League side, in the Gateway Division, which is the AL Central, the Cardinals are 87 and 72. And so there's an important thing to note there. They've got a 10-game lead on Kansas City. The Cardinals now have clinched a tie for the second best record as far as division winners. And so if the Cardinals win one more game, or if the White Sox lose one more game, then the winner of the White Sox-Cub twin race is guaranteed to be the third best record among the division winners on that side. On the National League side, in the California division, the Dodgers are now 99-60. That's the best record in the entire league. And so they have easily clinched home field for the National League playoffs. They are 6 games better than any other team in the entire league either way. And they have a 9-game lead on San Francisco. So we go to the final day, the final 3 rounds of games. And as we look to Tuesday morning, the Giants can be eliminated if they lose and the Red Sox, if the Giants lose and the Orioles or the Yankees win. If the Giants win and the Orioles or Yankees win, then the best the Giants can hope for is a lot of luck and a playoff to determine a wild card. Houston can be eliminated from the division race with Atlanta if Houston loses and Atlanta wins the Tuesday morning game. Houston cannot be eliminated from the wild card race Tuesday morning because they are only a game behind both Baltimore and New York. So even if Houston were to lose and New York and the Orioles both won, Houston would mathematically still have a shot at forcing the unthinkable 3-way tie in the wild card race. So the Astros have a little bit more rope than the Giants do as far as just playoff qualification. Obviously, the Red Sox can win their the Red Sox can clinch a division tie if they win and the Orioles and the Yankees lose. And then on the other side, we've mentioned the fact that the White Sox are helped by the fact that the Twins and the Cubs are playing each other, and they're the 2 teams trying to chase them down in that division race. Cincinnati is helped in that Pittsburgh and Toronto are trying to chase each other, are trying to beat each other to chase down Cincinnati in the wild card race. And so if Cincinnati just wins out, there's no way they can be caught. So right now the destiny very much in the hands of the Reds and the White Sox in both the AL West and AL West and AL East races. AL West and AL wildcard. To that end, let's take a look at the Tuesday morning schedule. First, on the modified National League alignment, again, it was all based on geography. So in the National League, the Red Sox play at home to Oakland. The Yankees are at Texas. And the Orioles play the Giants at San Francisco. That is critical because the Giants at least could sweep the Orioles and overtake them in the wild card race, but they would need help with the Yankees playing the Rangers. The Braves will continue at home with 3 more with the Rays, and the Astros are at home with the Mets. I would say that scenario definitely favors the Braves. As far as the teams vying for the wild card, though, Houston actually has probably the more favorable matchup, you'd think, on paper, although the Athletics haven't played any better than the Mets. And actually, well, no, the Yankees have the most favorable matchup. They're playing the Rangers, and the Rangers haven't been that great. Matchups that have no playoff implications. The Dodgers and Marlins will play 3 more games on Tuesday. The Phillies play the Nationals and the Padres will play the Angels. On the American League side, the Twins and Cubs continue to do battle. Whoever wins that's going to have the best shot at catching the White Sox, who are playing the Brewers. The Indians will play 3 with the Diamondbacks. Cleveland needs just one win or one Cincinnati loss to clinch a division championship. And Toronto and Pittsburgh play each other as they try to chase down Cincinnati. Cincinnati will continue playing against Kansas City, while Colorado will play St. Louis, and Seattle will play Detroit. There's a lot to decide on this final day as we get to the final three games for all teams, the final 45 games of the Simulated Baseball League. Hard to believe. We go to, if you look at it in terms of a real-life baseball schedule, we go to the final, what would be the equivalent of the final Friday, and we still have no decision officially in 3 divisions, and only a tie clinched in a 4th, and both wild cards very much in the balance. So there is a lot to be decided, and if you look at it another way, the Cardinals and the Dodgers are the only 2 teams that have clinched, officially clinched outright playoff berths. The Indians have clinched a tie and will have a playoff of some sort, but as far as the actual postseason, the Dodgers and the Cardinals are the only teams that clinched. And at this point, the Indians, Reds, Blue Jays, Pirates, White Sox, Cubs, Twins, Braves, Astros, Orioles, Red Sox, and Yankees are all, and the Giants, are all mathematically still alive. 13 teams are mathematically alive for 6 spots. Not 8, because remember, we're playing, this is using What If Sports under the old rules before the new wild card. 13 teams for 6 spots. And that will be determined with 45 games to be simulated over 3 sessions. Tuesday morning, afternoon, and Tuesday night. It is going to be fun to see how this plays out with the computers tomorrow. That'll wrap it up. We'll have all the drama Tuesday, February 11, a little later.